So in 1999, a friend of mine, I just found out that my partner had become pregnant with our first child, Felix, and she gave me a koauau that she had made in a workshop, and she had never been able to get a sound out of it, and asked if I could. I trumpeted the short, open-ended flute, and she was amazed that I'd got a sound out of it, so gave me that flute. And then I dived into a learning curve around what it was that I actually had been given, and soon discovered that we as Māori had a number of instruments that we had used musically in a traditional way and in an ancient context, which I found to be quite surprising, because it was something that I had not learned about in my schooling, primary school in the 70s, high school in the 80s, even at university in the late 80s. So I found this really very interesting. Of course, it's laden throughout the curriculum now, and that's because of the last 20 years of revival and renaissance, which I've been a part of. So I was enrolled in I returned to university to finish my unfinished undergrad, and completed my third year in social anthropology at Turitea in Palmerston North, Massey, and then leapt immediately into postgrad, as a new father, recognising that I maybe would be more employable with postgrad. I make jokes about maybe whether it would have been nice if someone had actually informed me that it was another degree, and that maybe I might have had the opportunity to that it took me so long to finish my undergrad. How long was it going to take me to complete my postgrad, which was kind of about the same amount of time, and was intent on doing a master's in social anthropology on the now dissolved or disappeared free noise community of Palmerston North, based around the place that is the Stomach, Creative Sounds, and found myself with this koauau in the bush and the gardens of Massey. It's an amazingly beautiful campus, full of birds, tui and kereru and others, and a good friend of mine, Lorena Gibson, who is actually lecturing here in cultural anthropology here at Vic. She was studying her postgrad at the time, and she recommended to me that maybe I should reconsider my subject matter, and offered to introduce me to a friend of hers, Richard Nuns, and I soon found myself wanting to make myself some flutes, and figured as much that it must have been relatively simple if it was a task that was completed by traditional Māori. I had no modern tools, and felt that shouldn't hinder me, because neither did we as Māori, and so began exploring the ways that we used to make the instruments, and then found myself falling into what I tend to call a mystery, which was around an ethnographic text recorded by Elston Best to do with the making of koauau using fire, using hot coals or embers from the fire and drilling the internal bore of that instrument with that. I was intrigued by this because I know how to make fires, and felt that maybe this was a technique that I could learn about, and so I started investing my ethnographic research into that field. And the more people that I asked, the more I discovered that they didn't actually believe it was done, and that it was possibly a myth, or what I was terming at the time as a bestism, which was something that was clung to by Elston Best, but actually wasn't something that occurred. And then a number of people basically recommended or invited me to have a go myself. And so I crossed over from an outsider into an insider by beginning to perform the research myself rather than interviewing people who had techniques and knew how. Worked very closely with a taonga pūoro practitioner from Palmerston North called Warren Warbrick, who was based at the museum, and then a man at the museum by the name of Noel Waite recommended that we turn the research into an exhibition. So we did that, called Koauau, the Music Within. That was 2003 that exhibition occurred. And all of my research, artifacts, and the practical side of my research was arrested from me or loaned to the museum for that exhibition. And so my so that particular part of the research went into kind of a hiatus while the exhibition occurred. In the process, I entered the workforce, had another baby, and continued to research, continued to make, and continued to play and record the research, and build my knowledge